Welcome to season 14 of the Parenting Aces podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Stone, and this week we are talking about electronic line calling and junior tennis. And who better to talk about that than Swupnil Sahai from SwingVision? About a week ago, I guess or maybe a couple weeks ago, I got an email from a parent wondering what was going on with junior tennis tournaments having electronic line calling. And so I reached out to Swupnil, I reached out to USTA, I reached out to USTA SoCal that has used SwingVision at several junior events just to find out what's happening, why this hasn't rolled out nationally yet. And I will tell you the response I got, I'm going to read it to you actually. The response I got from USTA National was as follows, and I'm just reading off my screen, so pardon me. Lisa, an overarching goal of elevating the player experience at all levels of competition includes the opportunity for players to utilize electronic line calling. To this end, the USTA is committing substantial resources geared toward the rollout of such technology. USTA and our sections are working with a variety of vendors, all of whom are in the process of obtaining ITF certification for ELC. You will see a variety of pilots at various levels of USTA tournaments across the country in 2025. So, all of that said, you're going to hear Swupnil talk about this ITF certification. You're going to hear him talk about what you can do as a parent or a player to speed this up and get more tournaments using ELC. And I hope that you will take advantage not only of what Swupnil is sharing with you, but also of the discount code that we offer for SwingVision. I will have that in the show notes, so be sure and check those out. You get a discount off the pro subscription. It includes a free swing stick, which is the pole that you use to hang your camera on the back fence of the tennis court. And so I hope you will utilize all of these different things to make the junior tournament experience a more positive one. So with that, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy my conversation with Swupnil Sahai of SwingVision. Swupnil, welcome back. Great to see you. And I'm so excited to hear what's going on with SwingVision as it pertains to junior tennis, as it pertains to college tennis, and everything else. So welcome back.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Always good to be here.
So as I was telling you offline, I've been getting a lot of inquiries recently about what's happening with electronic line calling in terms of junior tournaments. And obviously I've been to a couple tournaments where SwingVision has been used for electronic line calling, and we've done podcasts about it. I've written articles about it, and that's been a lot of months ago, and people are just curious, when are we going to see this across the country? So I reached out to you, I reached out to my contacts at USTA, I reached out to my contacts at USTA Southern California, and we decided it was just time to do another podcast.
For sure. There's a lot happening right now, and not everybody's experienced it yet, but hopefully they will soon. But yeah, just a big recap, I guess, for your listeners who aren't aware with all the latest updates on the line calling side. But last year, especially last summer, SwingVision piloted electronic line calling at the junior level with USTA SoCal. So we did several events in Southern California. We were actually running the numbers, and we provided electronic line calling for over 500 matches last year, which is basically like a world record for junior tennis. It's never been done at that scale by any company. So pretty exciting to have so many juniors using the product and getting their line calls officiated by this technology solution. And you did some great pieces on this last year where you spoke with parents, and they all said that it was a much calmer atmosphere and all that. So yeah, that was really great. UST has been super supportive, especially SoCal. And we have personally been working really closely with USTA of Florida as well. So we're expecting to start doing some pilots with them this year in 2025. So if you play out in Florida, you can definitely expect SwingVision at some of your events this year. And yeah, with SoCal, the plan is to kind of do what we did last year, but increase it in scope and scale. So, do even more events. And, the beauty of SwingVision solution is it's just so easy to kind of spread throughout and administer on many, many courts at any given facility, at any given tournament. And one other exciting update from the SoCal side is that they had such a great experience with us that they've actually built a whole new role within SoCal for somebody who is like just like the SwingVision person, like the line calling person.
Oh,
And
that's
so they've,
awesome.
yeah, and so they've built like a team of people under that role. And so that person's going to be responsible for administering line calling at like any of these major events that happen. Like, we did a few junior sectionals last year and some really major level events like that. And so yeah, basically USTA staff themselves will be now going and running line calling. And they've gotten to a point now where SwingVision staff don't even have to come on site, which is also unprecedented. And so we've basically like taught them how to use it, worked with them really closely, and our plan is to go and do that with all the sections now. And so that's a bit on us to kind of work through, training all the sections and their staff. But we believe we can get any section set up for this. And really, you just need a staff of probably 2 to 3 people to run an entire event across 10 to 15 courts. So it's a really small number of people that you need. And every section should be able to have the resources now, especially that USTA is now providing all kinds of grants and subsidies to the sections so that they can go and try solutions like SwingVision. So yeah, the USTA is really pushing hard, I would say. It is going to probably be more of like a section by section thing initially. And we'll just kind of keep pushing where we can and do more pilots and bring it to more states and regions. But eventually, hopefully, this can be a national rollout. But that remains to be seen. But I'm sure it'll get to that point.
Yeah, I hope so. And, as you mentioned, the parents love it. The kids also, the kids that I interviewed at these events where SwingVision was available to them for electronic line calling, they expressed that they were able to play so much more freely. They were so much calmer. The match went off without any conflict. If there was a thought that there was a bad call, you just went to the iPad and
Yeah.
replayed the point in terms of looking at it on the iPad, not replaying the point actually.
Yeah.
And there was your solution, right? There was no argument. There was no need for officials to come out on the court. The kids just did their thing out there, and it was really cool to see, and cool to see the shift in the overall vibe of the events. There was, again, this calm that just seemed to permeate the parents, the kids, the officials, the tournament desk, everybody.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it was amazing to see, and it was so fun because yeah, there were some events where we had kids. I think it was like in the under tens, and they were using it, which was so cool. And they were also surprised and excited because I would tell them like, you're also going to get a video afterwards with the speed of every shot, and they're like, what? Like they were so surprised. So I think that's also the cool part about SwingVision is like it's not just calling the lines; it's also doing this incredible video analysis. Afterwards, you're going to get your entire match video, and it's all cut down, and you get all these cool stats that only the pros have up until now. So I think the kids really love that as well, and I think it's definitely becoming part of the culture in general for people to just like record their matches with SwingVision because you can just do it with your phone. And so I think for the kids especially, a lot of them were already aware of us before, but now they got to use it in like an official capacity in an actual match play, and they're already familiar with the brand. So it's kind of a nice transition for them to see that happen. But yeah, really really cool to see just the feedback from the kids, and they seem to love it. So we're just going to keep pushing.
Love it. Love it. So you mentioned that this is likely going to roll out section by section. For the parent watching this that hasn't had the opportunity to
Yeah.
experience SwingVision electronic line calling, is there anything the parents can do to kind of light a fire under their junior comp person in their section to say, hey, if you haven't already, please apply for this grant. We want this at our junior event.
Yeah, so there's two things you could probably do as a parent. One is reach out to either tournament organizers or the folks that you know within the USTA section that you're in, and let them know that you want to see SwingVision at your next event. And I think the more volume of emails that they get from parents, the more likely they'll be to kind of reach out to us and move a bit faster there. But I mean, we're ready to go with any section, so I think the more pressure you can put on the sections, I think that's going to just help make the conversation easier for us. But I think separate from that, USTA has also rolled out subsidies to facilities that install a permanent ELC solution. And so this is interesting now for SwingVision because up until now, our solution's been this like mobile solution where it's like you put your phone with the swing stick on the fence, but then you take it down at the end of the day. And it's
Yeah.
worked really well for tournaments. And you saw this when we were doing this at Lakewood in Southern California. We would just put up the swing stick one time in the morning, takes like 5 minutes to set up, and then it's just there all day and it's recording all the
Right.
matches. But then at the end of the day, you do have to bring it down. And so what we've done actually is we have a permanent solution now that we just released this month. Um, and so there's now a camera permanently attached to the fence. It's wired into power, and we've also added a tablet kiosk by the net post. So that's also wired into power as well. And so these devices are meant to live on the court and stay there permanently all day, all night. And so facilities that install an ELC solution like this, which is more permanent, can also now apply for a subsidy from the USTA. And it's very generous. So they cover 50% of the costs in your first year, up to $10,000, which is really significant because for a solution like ours, you'd be able to install potentially on up to like 10 courts, and like half of the cost will be covered. So we're just coming in at a really aggressive price point with this permanent solution. And so we're really excited. And if you play out of a facility, or you happen to have your kids play out of a lot of tournaments out of any facilities, which could be a good candidate for this kind of a permanent setup. And this would probably be a facility that's a private club or something like that has a front desk that people have to go through to get to the
Yeah.
courts, ideally, and some sort of security on staff. So if you play at that kind of facility, or if you've been to events there, that's the perfect customer for us for this permanent solution. And so you should just let them know that like SwingVision has this permanent electronic line calling solution set up, and facilities can install that now. They can get a subsidy from the USTA to cover some of that. And once they do that, at some point they'll be able to also increase like the tournament fees, registration fees. And so basically this will pay for itself like very quickly. So it's kind of like a no-brainer for any facility to just get these systems installed. And the timing's perfect because we just launched it. And, we've already built such a great software experience with SwingVision over the last 6 years, but now we finally are delivering a hardware solution that's like perfect for the facilities.
Love it. It's been 6 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. This summer, I said it a bit early, but this summer is going to be 6 years for us. Technically,
Wow.
the November of this year will be 6 years that we've been on the App Store, but as a company, 6 years is this summer for us. That's when we first started working on SwingVision. Yeah.
Gosh, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. That's so crazy. So, with this permanent solution or the temporary solution for ELC, are you seeing that the tournaments are raising the entry fees to cover the expense of it, or what are you seeing with that? Because I did a poll, gosh, it's been several years ago now,
Yeah.
asking the parents, would you be willing to pay a higher entry fee to have more officials on courts? This was before ELC was a
Right.
thing. And, overwhelmingly the response was yes, yes.
Of course.
We,
Yeah.
we'd pay another $10, we'd pay another $20, whatever it is,
Yep.
to have fair play.
Yeah.
So just wondering what you're seeing from the facilities that are using your technology.
Yeah, so that is what we're seeing. It might be a combination of the facility or like USTA. Like I don't know exactly who gets that revenue, but the number that I've been seeing floated around is around $10 to $15 increase in tournament fees, which is like basically nothing for getting electronic line calling. It's like the best deal. It's like a deal of the century, I feel
Yeah.
like, if you're a parent, right? So yeah, I think that's probably what parents probably should expect. But it's based on, your feedback and what you've heard, it sounds like that's very reasonable. And I think we all agree like that's worth it to have this technology, and the experience will just be so much better. And like matches will not be decided by hooking anymore, which is great, right? So I think like that's exciting for everyone. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing. So it's nothing like egregious. It's not like $50 increase or something crazy like that. So, it's just enough so that the cost can be covered. And obviously, if UST is going out and, doing these subsidies, they need a way to recover that cost, which is totally reasonable. They are a nonprofit after all. So, but I think, yeah, it all feels like it's coming to a good spot, and it's, I think, economically viable for the market. So, hopefully we're just able to roll it out as soon as we can.
Awesome. One of the pieces of all of this is an ITF certification
Yeah.
for the electronic line calling company, right?
Mhm.
Or the technology. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that means and what it involves?
Yeah, so ITF has been certifying line calling technology for quite a while now, but it's primarily been at the professional level. And so obviously, Hawkeye, I think there's some other companies as well. in that space, but Hawkeye's kind of emerged as like the dominant player. But there's actually maybe 3 or 4 companies at least that have already been certified for line calling at the professional level with ITF. And last year they released standards for the first time for amateur competitions. And so there's actually 2 levels that they have. They have like a silver level, a bronze level. They also have the gold level, but that's really more for like professional events. They see silver as the one that would cover sort of junior events up to like a national level junior event, such as like an Orange Bowl. Or I guess that's an international junior event, I should say.
Yeah.
So, silver would kind of get you those kinds of events. And then I think bronze is meant to be more for like local events. But USTA is really focusing on the silver level, that certification. And so that's the one that SwingVision's trying to get. That's the one that all the other companies that are in contention are also trying to get. And I expect like most of these companies will end up getting that. So there'll be multiple options in the market that will get that silver certification. And I think for most people, when it comes to line calling accuracy, what it comes down to is that gold level is kind of like millimeter level accuracy, which is what you see with Hawkeye. The silver level is more like centimeter level accuracy. And specifically, it's a number that we've actually used for a long time. So if the ball lands within, let's say, 10 centimeters of a line, those line calls of whether it's in or out needs to be accurate, at least 95%. That's a summary of basically what the accuracy needs to be. And so it's a pretty high threshold. I mean, human accuracy is around 92% for that level of close calls. So this is basically saying like it needs to be better than humans for close calls. And then there's like some other general accuracy requirements for like non-close calls, obviously, but that's kind of like the one that's the most challenging, I would say, for any technology solution to cross. And so, we've crossed that internally in our metrics. And so we're really excited and, confident that we'll be able to get that certification. And I'm sure some of these other companies will also be able to get that level as well. But it's really exciting though, because what it means is that once the technology provider gets that, you can be confident that this is better than humans. And so that's a really great place to be for a junior event where there could be a lot at stake.
And I want to just reiterate what you just said, that the human eye is 92% accurate.
Yeah.
SwingVision is 95% accurate. So people that are like questioning, oh, well, this is technology, it's going to mess up, whatever. Yes, it's not 100%, but it's still better than what our kids and what we are doing with our own eyes. So
Yeah, and
it's a
actually
win.
I should also clarify there that SwingVision is actually 97 currently internally. So we're like actually beyond that level. ITF level is the 95. But yeah, exactly. It's like it's not 100% accurate obviously for those close calls. It's not as good as Hawkeye. Hawkeye would be like basically 100% accurate for those kinds of calls. But it's like you don't need it to be, and you just need it to be better than the players. I mean, really the bar should be 92, but I think 95 is good to just have some cushion there.
Yeah.
And we're well above that, and that's just where we are today. I mean, there's so much more that SwingVision can do in the future. You could imagine maybe like a 2 camera setup. We also don't even take advantage of 4K. We're just using like 1080p video today, but all the phones have 4K. So like there's just a lot more opportunity for us to even increase the accuracy further, which will become more important probably at the college level. But I
Mhm.
think even with college tennis, they're also looking at silver as like their threshold as well.
That that's the perfect segue, because I was getting ready to ask you what's happening on the college front, because we've all seen the videos that get pushed out on social media about the terrible line calling that's going on in college tennis. Again, this is nothing new. So for those of you thinking that you're living in an era where cheating is out of control, it is no worse, no better now than it's always been. And it's not necessarily cheating, it's mistakes that are made on the court. Some of the mistakes are purposeful, some of them are true mistakes, and just missing the ball. As you can imagine, at the college level, the ball is coming so fast on both the men's and the women's
Yeah.
uh, side of things. And so the human eye isn't going to be perfect. But what are you hearing? What are you seeing in terms of ELC being implemented by the ITA or by the NCAA? I guess it wouldn't be the NCAA, it would be the ITA that would approve the use. What's happening there?
Yeah, so with ITA, it's something similar. So, they've been doing some pilots. We haven't actually officially started a pilot with them yet. We're focusing more on the USTA market, but we're planning to hopefully get something going with them this year. So that's another thing too. If you have kids who are actively playing in college, please reach out to the ITF and let them know you'd like to see SwingVision. I mean, SwingVision is already used by over 100 college teams for video analysis and stats. So a lot
Right.
of the teams are familiar with us. I mean, we're the dominant player in the college market already. But yeah, we would like to do a pilot with ITA this year as well. So I think their plan as well is, do pilots this season and then probably make recommendations at some point next season. And I think that's probably also going to have to be tied to the ITF certification. That's even more important at the college level. So that's probably gonna be like a super strict requirement for them. And we're pushing on ITA certification so we can be there. But I think similar thing there too. My guess is ITA will end up recommending multiple technology solutions, and then it's kind of up to the colleges or maybe like certain conferences to choose like which one they want to go with. We obviously hope that SwingVision will be that solution for most of the conferences, given that we already have so many customers across the college space, and we're also the only solution that can do this video analysis and live streaming in addition to just calling the lines. And so I think there's just so much more benefit that we're able to provide with a much simpler setup. But yeah, there too, I mean, we can use the parents' helps to reach out to reach out to the ITA and let them know that you want to see SwingVision piloted at an upcoming college event. That'll help us always move faster there too.
And what about athletic directors reaching out to them? A
Yeah,
is that a
that's
helpful
great
step
too.
or
For
okay?
sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if athletic directors and the colleges themselves are reaching out, that's super helpful. I mean, especially if you're an existing SwingVision customer, we definitely appreciate that. But yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think just the more people they hear from, the more pressure I'll put in. Hopefully, we can just move faster there.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking if any of you guys have a budget that you're looking to make a donation to your kids' program, maybe you could make a donation to purchase Sweet Vision
Yeah,
for all their home matches and maybe install the permanent solution on the courts.
yeah,
And I mean, I think that would be really cool. I just, throwing ideas out, but I think the more facilities, the more opportunities our kids have to play with this electronic line calling, the more pleasant the experience is going to be for everybody, not just the players, but
agreed.
certainly for the parents and the coaches, quite frankly, that are out there, trying to second guess a line call that maybe they're not so sure about. So, yeah, I think the more events that can have this type of technology, the better. It exists. We should use it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just kind of the thing, right?
yeah.
So Swupnil, besides the ELC, I know you guys are
Yeah.
constantly tweaking, growing, expanding Swing Vision. What else is happening? What's in the works? What's new? What do you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as you know, we're always firing on all cylinders here at SwingVision and just trying to, bring more to the market and improve the user experience as much as we can. But yeah, one exciting update that we have coming up in April is that we have a brand new version of the Swing Stick actually coming out. So it's the first time that we're updating it since we created the first version. And it addresses a lot of the
And for
feedback.
people that don't know, the swing
Yeah,
stick is the actual mounting pole that you use to put your phone on and hang it from the back fence on
yeah,
the court,
exactly. So
right?
it's essentially like a selfie stick, but it has a little hook on the back that you can use to just hook onto the fence. Also works for indoor courts too. If you have a curtain and a rod, you can hook it on there too. And yeah, one of the feedback we've always gotten with the swing stick is sometimes it's a little tricky to angle your phone and make sure it
Yep.
sees the court. And so this new version is actually going to have a motor inside it. And the idea is now you put this stick up, attach it to the fence, and then using AI, it will just find the court for you. And so you don't have to worry about like setting the angle perfectly or like bringing it back down and adjusting it and trying it again. So that's just going to make it like so much easier to set up. And it's literally just like you put it up and you forget about it and it'll find the court for you and start recording. Um,
But remember to take it at the end of the
yeah, yeah,
match.
just
Don't
remember
leave
to
it.
take it. I mean, it is your phone, so hopefully you don't forget it. But yeah, remember to take it. And yeah, so that's a really exciting update that I think it's going to just make it like even easier to use for a lot of
Yeah.
people. And so, those of you who might have been familiar with SwingVision, but were maybe a little bit afraid to try it out because it might have looked a bit intimidating to set up. Maybe you're not the most tech savvy person or whatever it is. Now we're just trying to make it like super easy for anyone to use. So I'm really excited for that to come out. And then I think another update that is exciting to share that we also have launching around that time in April is the ability to send your video to a coach to have them review it. So I'm really excited about this. We've been wanting to do this for a long time. There's a lot of people who are already kind of using SwingVision in this capacity where they'll record their matches when they're out on the road and they'll send it to their coach. But now we're just going to make that a lot easier. You'll be able to just submit any video you want. You can actually submit it to any coach in the world that's going to be part of our coaching platform. And coaches will be able to leave feedback directly on the video. They'll be able to type, like, draw on it, whatever they need to do. And then you'll be able to just see all that feedback really easily, like either in the app or on the website as you're watching back your video. And so it's almost like a highlight reel of just what your coach commented on, essentially. So once again, like making it even easier to improve your game and also just making coaching a lot more accessible. And obviously in the US, we have like great coaching resources already, but I think this will really be huge internationally too with, there's so many countries that maybe don't really have the best coaching resources or the best infrastructure. And now imagine they could record their game with their phone and just send it to like a coach in the US, and like a coach in the US could actually give feedback. So I'm excited for this, and hopefully coaches will be able to increase their business with this too and just reach a lot more customers, be able to do some coaching on a rainy day at home, just sit on the couch and coach some people remotely. So that's really exciting. And again, that just speaks to like the volume of activity that we have, of so many people using it every single month, recording their matches, recording their practices, serve, practice, ball machine. And so there's so much content there. And now we can actually like have that coached and like get feedback on all that. It's not just kind of recorded in a vacuum. So super exciting. So yeah, planning to roll that out really soon.
I love that. And, I get asked all the time for coaching recommendations because not everybody lives in Southern California or in Texas or in Florida where they have access to, a coach on every corner, basically. And this is such a great way to have access to great coaching, to be able to share video of the matches and have that feedback come directly to the player. And, who knows where you can go with that kind of information that, people feel limited when they don't have access to great coaching or don't have access to great practice partners. Or, another thing that's kind of a roadblock for some juniors. And so to be able to do all this within the SwingVision app, I think is going to be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We're just trying to become kind of a really core part of just your tennis experience and just provide value like anywhere we can. And we're always listening to customers, but this has been the one that I think a lot of people have been requesting. So excited to finally deliver it.
Super cool. So if people are interested in checking out SwingVision, do you have a sort of trial membership, something they can do to it's an app. Let me just start there. This is an app. It is available in the App Store. So first step is to get the app, but then what?
Yeah, I mean, in addition to getting the app, you'll want to get the Swing Stick, and then we do have, the app's free to download, but if you want to be able to record more than 2 hours a month, if you want to be able to have lifetime cloud storage for all of your past matches and videos, you'll want to subscribe to our Pro subscription. And so, for that, the best deal is to use your referral link. So, you can probably add that to the notes here in the show, but your link is going to make sure that you're able to get not just the annual subscription, but also the Swing Stick for free is actually included with that. And so normally the stick costs $100 on its own, but it comes together in this 1-year subscription if they go through your link. And so that's the best way to do it, and gets you set up with like the perfect equipment and allows you to really maximize everything that you want to get out of the app.
Love it. Love it. And so once people download the app and let's say they want to just test it out before they sign up for the Pro subscription, what are some things that they'll be able to do with just that basic free trial?
Yeah, so I mean, you'll already be able to record your match, and for those first 2 hours that you get each month, you'll be able to look at your match with all the dead time removed. You'll be able to filter and look at like very specific points or rallies. And so there's a lot you're going to be able to do with just that small amount of information. And then, I mean, you'll also get some basic stats that you'll be able to see, like your average serve speed or your first serve percentage or your second serve percentage. So you'll be able to see all those kinds of interesting stats right away in the free version of the app. And really the paid version is just if you want to go deeper, if you want to see deeper analysis of like where the shots are landing, where you're hitting from, if you want to go back and look at show me all my forehands that I hit into the net or whatever it is. So if you want to do that more tactical like shot analysis, that's where the pro subscription is really handy. And then also being able to record more than 2 hours. So with the subscription, you get 30 hours of recording time instead of just two. But two is a great place to start. It gives you a sense of just how powerful the app is. My promise to you is like the first time you record, you'll be blown away when you look at your video at just like everything that the app is able to do and what it's able to track just from that one camera and just using your phone. And hopefully that will convince you. But if you need some more convincing, you can record a few more times, and hopefully you'll get over the line. But yeah, it's just great to like watch yourself and be able to just see what you're doing wrong. It's like you'll be able to self-diagnose really quickly what adjustments you need to make, and I think that's the most powerful part about it.
But also to be able to see what you're doing right, to
Yeah,
reinforce that,
totally.
oh, hey, my first serve percentage actually improved over the course of this tournament, or, I was making more of those short balls. I was getting into the court quicker and able to actually have an aggressive shot as opposed to, my fitness level is in the toilet and not able to get up to the net quick
Yeah,
enough or
yeah,
whatever.
me
So
too.
I think it's really important, especially for parents when they're talking to their kids about this stuff, um, to really catch yourself and try and focus on the positives first and reinforce those positive habits that your child is developing, and then let your child watch and start to self-diagnose and find the things where they need work. um, the kids are way smarter than we are anyway about using all this technology. So I think it's a positive in terms of being able to shine a light on what's improved, and then also being able to shine a light on where they can do a little more work, and being able to track this over time as well. Being able to have those matches recorded, go back to 6 months ago and watch a match versus a match that you played this week, and you know see for yourself how much you've worked on and how that's paid off for you in an actual tournament situation.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think the fact that you can go back in time is so useful and handy. And there's these really nice filters too, so it makes it really easy. You can say like, show me all the matches I played against this particular opponent, or show me every doubles match that I played like more than a year ago. And so it's really easy to go back and find that. And actually, we're working on some things that will make it even better this year. But there's this concept of favoriting a rally, which is essentially like adding it to your bookmarks.
Mm-hmm.
And so currently, what's kind of cool is if you're wearing like an Apple Watch while you're playing, as soon as a point happens, you can like hit a favorite button on your watch and it'll kind of bookmark it for you. And we're going to bring this experience to all the tournaments with the ELC setup as well. So if you just walk over to the iPad and you can hit the favorite button, it'll kind of bookmark it. Um, so that's a really handy way to look back at like kind of the most important or the best or the funniest or whatever you care about bookmarking. You can basically do that. But later this year, we're going to allow you to be able to look through and watch kind of like a highlight reel of all of your bookmarks from the entire year in like one big like mega highlight essentially. And I think that's going to be really helpful because once we are able to do things like that, then it'll be really easy for putting together content for like recruiting purposes.
Right.
And so, that's something that we've wanted to always do and be able to provide better tools for, players and their parents to be able to put together footage for recruiting purposes. And so I'm really excited to be able to kind of chip away more on that side of things and provide more value there. But yeah, that's a really exciting area. And that's probably a good reason to kind of start recording sooner rather than later so that you already have that footage there, you already have those bookmarks there, and then kind of like once you're ready for the recruiting process, it's like you already know what you need to put together, you can share that, and it's really easy.
It's also a great tool to use if you're trying to get sponsors or,
Yeah,
build your brand,
sure.
right? And this is
Totally.
something you can share on your social media. You can show it to potential brand reps that, may want to, bring you into their fold of representing them and paying you to do that, for NIL purposes in college as
Yeah,
well.
that's a good
So
point.
I think there are a lot of uses for this, and the the possibilities are endless, as you've proven, Swupnil, because every time I talk to you there are 10 new things that swing is doing, and I think it's so cool. um, I will say, once they download the free app and register the app, they're in your system, right? So if they are playing a tournament that has the electronic line calling, they will be in the system already. It will be very easy for them once they walk out on that court to find themselves and, set the
Totally.
match up. So that's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
big
definitely.
perk.
And we're trying to make that even easier. We're going to probably add like a QR code thing too at some point. So it's like you go to the iPad, there's a QR code, you scan it with your phone, it just instantly logs you in because you're already logged into SwingVision on your phone. So I think like that whole process is going to be like so much smoother for tournaments. Um, but yeah, that's always a good idea to definitely if you know that you have SwingVision coming up at a tournament, it's good to just get the app and get an account because
Yeah.
it'll just make it even smoother.
Yeah. All right. What else? What if I'm not asking you that I need to be asking you?
No, I mean, I think those you kind of covered the main topics there. I mean, yeah, it's been a busy year for us last year with line calling and everything, and we're continuing to push on that. I mean, ITS certification is like a big goal for us, but right now our
When will you know?
when will we know? It's a bit hard to say. There's a bit of a process involved. You have to go through a couple accuracy tests, which is actually pretty cool. Like the ITF has this device that they use to like shoot the ball really, really fast and aim it at like specific parts near the line. And
Hmm.
it's the same process that like Hawkeye and other companies actually had to go through. But they try to simulate like really, really fast shots, really close to the line. And so they'll test to see like how the system performs indoors, how does it perform outdoors, and that's a really big advantage for us too. Is SwingVision's always been used outdoors compared to a lot of other solutions that are always been built in these like perfect conditions indoors. So I think
Yeah.
that's what's really nice for us is we just have this like diverse data. So I'm excited for those tests. And then once we pass those tests, then there's like various testing that needs to be done in a real match environment. So there'll be like tournaments where people are using SwingVision. ITF would want to come out and maybe just observe from the sidelines, kind of like in
Hmm.
shadow, and see how it's performing. But then also they'll want to do something more granular where players are actually playing a match, and ITF will want to be like potentially on the court there, observing like every single challenge and seeing how it performs. So it's a pretty rigorous process. It takes a long time. There's a lot of logistics involved in like scheduling all these things. So
Yeah.
I expect it to take like several months, honestly. But I'm hoping we can get it all done like by the fall, maybe. And we're just trying to go as fast as we can, but some of it will just be up to like scheduling and all that.
Got it. Got it. So again, if people want to get SwingVision, if they don't have it already, just go to the App Store, type in SwingVision in the search, and it'll come right up. Download the app, then you can create your account, and you will be in the system. If they want to sign up for the Pro subscription, we will have the discount in the show notes on parentingaces.com. So make sure you use that because that gets you the free stick as well, which you will want to have. And yeah, I mean, I'm just super excited to see this at more junior events. And it's been a long time coming, Swupnil. So, I mean, kudos to you guys for staying the course and continuing to improve and expand and grow this company and to make yourselves really relevant in the junior tennis space. I think it's amazing.
No, yeah, thank you. And I mean, it's a huge thank you to all of our customers to date, who've believed in us like since the very beginning. We have some customers who've been subscribed for like over 5 years. I mean, it's amazing. So I think we wouldn't be here without their support and their support validates that what we're doing is important. And then it allows us to make these bigger bets and, take bigger risks in these new initiatives like line calling, which, weren't very clear last year in terms of could we really monetize this as a business? Is this really going to be like a sustainable model for us? And now now it's showing that it will be. But, all that support leads to that. And then also, having great partners like USTA SoCal, who took that risk also of working with SwingVision. They were the first section, to come on board. So it's amazing. We feel really lucky to have this incredible support from so many people. But, we're going to just keep working hard and keep pushing and hopefully just making the sport a little bit better every year. But I think there's just lots more exciting things in the future. And, you know, I think one thing to think about is just like from the beginning, we've been trying to bring this like pro experience, right, to amateurs, and now we're doing that with like line calling. But we want to go even deeper. Like we want to bring like live streaming and like broadcasting quality to amateurs as well. And so that's what's really exciting with this like smart court solution too. Is like imagine every match, every tournament is broadcasted. It's like essentially on TV. Like your friends and family, your grandparents, everybody can watch it and you're getting like line calling, and when you challenge a call, it's like shown on the screen. Um, and maybe you have like, I don't know, an AI generated version of John McEnroe like doing commentary on your match. Like you can see where this is gonna go. Like this is all gonna be there. And it's like it's gonna get to the point where, if you're watching your like son or your grandson or your granddaughter's match, it's gonna be like watching something on like Wimbledon on ESPN. It's gonna be that good. It's gonna be that compelling, that broadcast level quality. And I feel like that's like the dream for us is to bring it to that level and just make it like so fun to watch, so compelling. So I feel like there's a lot more we want to do that we're going to do. And so I hope people are excited about that too, not just what we've done so far, but what we still have to do. And it's exciting times, I think, to play a racket sport also because of all this.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, I have a request if you're going to do this AI commentary thing. Can you do Chris Eubanks and can you do Lindsay Davenport? Please. They are so good, both of them.
We'll try our best. I think Lindsay's easy because Lindsay Davenport's an investor in SwingVision, so I think
Yes,
she'll definitely be down for that. And we'll try to get Chris. Worst case, we do have James Blake, he's not too bad himself.
he's
I,
awesome.
I
Yeah.
thought he did a pretty good job at the Australian Open this year, so he's an investor as well. And then obviously Andy Roddick. So we got a few folks who could provide some pretty good commentary for your local matches.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait till that feature comes out. But in the meantime, everybody, if you don't have SwingVision already, go get it right now. Use our discount code. Get the stick, get the pro subscription, get the whole bundle. Start using this technology because you are going to start seeing it at tournaments. I promise you, if you haven't already, it's coming. And we all have heard from USTA that they are committed to making this happen, rolling this out nationwide, internationally. I can't tell you what's happening yet, but it sounds like, Swupnil, that you guys are in talks. I know Tennis Australia has been a
Yep.
big supporter of what you guys do. And so I suspect we're going to start seeing more of SwingVision everywhere we see tennis. So that makes me really happy.
Yeah, I think that's going to be exciting. I mean, I think once we get the ITF certification, it's like the floodgates will open. So
Yeah.
then there will be probably so much that we can't handle it, but hopefully that'll be a good problem to have if that happens.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking time to come chat with me again and update us on what's happening and all the new developments, and can't wait to see them in action and hope to see you out at one of the tournaments soon when you guys have the ELC, although it sounds like you don't even have to be there anymore, which
Yeah.
bummer for me, but good for you, I guess.
No, well, I'll still make a cameo now and then. I'm sure there'll be some opportunities. I'll keep you updated about that. I'm sure it would be great to see you again there.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. To my audience, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on Parenting Aces.